And we're back. And we're back. And welcome back to the program, my dear friends. Yeah.
Let's, hold on a second. Let's go ahead and start on this note of good morning and good evening to all of our listeners now spread out throughout the globe. And of course, to all of our listeners in the United States of America, and to all Americans now all over the globe. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. and them and they American, or whatever, or however you identify, in whatever way. If you're an American, this is for you. This message is going out to all Americans in every location, wherever you may be. And this is a very serious message. And we may take a humorous tone every now and then, but this is nonetheless a serious message. And we're not making fun of or jokes about any person or group because they are different. We're not saying that if you are different, therefore you are now the butt of our jokes, and now I'm going to make a joke about you because you're different, and I'm going to use this joke and these jokes to keep you different and keep you down. And then I'll get a laugh at your expense, and I will become more empowered and more advanced because of how I am using you to lift up myself. And we're not taking that approach here. That's not the approach we're taking. That's not what I'm doing. And hopefully that's not what you're doing. Friends, we're proclaiming the American way. And that is this: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that all men are created equal. And that every person that is now, whether you're an American or not, are created equal and are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, and these include the following. And you know the thing, but I'm going to say it anyways, the best I can recall: life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I might add, that has nothing to do with going to heaven, and that we haven't even got to the legal part yet. That's just the philosophy on which this is based. This is the starting point of America, right here. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. What we see is, and now, of course, we have language that is, according to our time and by our standards, outdated, not only in efficacious use, or that no one's trained or skilled in how to use this kind of the English language, as we're seeing it here and hearing it here. But, of course, we can change this. We can say that all people are created equal, and that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, and that these rights, we know they include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, according to the ones that founded this country. Now, according to anybody else or somebody else, I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time reading about how or why they founded, or what they founded Mexico on, which principles or which themes or which Bible verses or which comic books they founded North Korea on, or whatever, and go on and so on and so on. But every country, as I would understand it, it seems normal, natural to human thinking and behavior, would found themselves upon some founding document or principle, guiding idea, value, goal, or let's say value or ideal, if not idea. And that would be to strive for this, and then that is what this shall be, a continual striving for this, and a model for how this can be accomplished. And so, that is how we got the U.S. Constitution. Of course, that's not just how we got the U.S. Constitution, but that's kind of it smoothed over, in simplest terms. We have the philosophy that all men are created equal. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Now, the founders of the original setup here, the republic, the country, and in this case we're talking about America, or in another case we might be talking about any other country under a different name or in a different set of circumstances or a time zone, or possibly the country that replaces America when America's gone. Which, look man, we all know this is not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. And you might say, or I might say, well, I don't want the change to occur. Well, it's just like Skywalker told Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. You can't stop the change from happening any more than you can stop the suns from setting. So then we just have to adapt and hopefully try to change to adapt to be able to keep moving forward. Let's take the analogy to the riding a raft on a river. And if the rapids become too extreme, well, you might need to change up how you're paddling or rowing, or even how you're thinking about this trip. It might have gone from a pleasant trip where you're having a picnic on a serene, placid creekside, and then suddenly you're rolling through the rapids, rocks everywhere, and you're fearful that you might capsize and lose all of your sandwiches that you worked so hard on putting together. But then, of course, you adjust and you realize, well, you know what, the sandwiches weren't the big thing. The big thing was that I made it through to the other side and I'm still going. And that's how it is for America these days. Americans look up, have hope. In this, we have a set of rules. And I am not happy with every decision every person that is in any position of power makes. At all times, or often, a lot of the times, and most of the time, maybe, if you're like me, you're mostly unhappy with our elected, as we say, so-called leaders. But even those that discount election results for whatever reason, I might think they're valid, and you might think they're not valid, or vice versa. I might think that the turnout and the certification on one side was exactly perfect. It's perfect in every way. Perfect. It was the most perfect, exact certification ever. It's the most perfect certification ever. Couldn't have been any more perfect. And then someone else on the other side might say, and again, I'm speaking in hypothetical terms, these are roles that we perform in public for various reasons. Maybe we think somebody wants to hear our opinion, and or maybe we think somebody wants to actually, they might tell us their opinion, and so we think, well, I'm going to say my opinion now because they told me theirs, and I didn't like their opinion. Or maybe you might think, well, I did like their opinion, and so therefore I'm going to say mine, chime in with my thought, therefore gaining whatever I'm going to gain out of that. I don't know what it is. Maybe you feel better. Maybe you might be encouraging somebody else. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. Maybe you considered it was a sign to you that you heard someone that had the same opinion as you, confirming what you thought or what you knew you already knew. Or maybe you heard something you didn't want to hear, and you thought to yourself, well, if this person can give their opinion, I'm going to give mine, because whether they asked for it or not, I didn't ask for theirs, and now I'm going to give mine now. You go ahead and give yours. Or I've given mine a lot of times for all kinds of reasons that I came up with in my head when nobody had asked me for it. And sometimes it worked out, and sometimes it didn't, for both parties or either party or none of the parties. But in any case, we can see that opinions, of course, are like, well, you know, and everybody's got one. And the question is, you want to smell it? Yeah, that's not really the way we want to live our lives. Yeah, nobody wants to smell it. But everybody's got one, and nobody wants to smell it. Nobody wants to see it, and nobody wants to be always reminded that you might need a little bit of work down there. Yeah, see, nobody wants to talk about that stuff. So, keep it to yourself. If someone wants to see it, and you want to share it, and you want to examine each other's opinions, yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead. I'm just not interested in that. And that's the way I see it. And if you see it in another way, fine. I don't see it that way. And that doesn't mean we have to be enemies for life, or lifelong enemies, or that we need to hate each other for the rest of our lives. It just means we have a disagreement. And as Americans, we can still have this in common, that our common law, that we have a law that we live under, is the U.S. Constitution. And our common philosophy is that we're all equal. And our common law that makes us all Americans is that we, at sacrifice to our own individual rights, say, I submit myself to this law, the U.S. Constitution. And that includes all kinds of stuff, including Supreme Court decisions that I don't like and I don't want to have. I just wish they'd never occurred, possibly. And a lot of these things go on years after I'm gone and years after the presidents that appointed these people are gone. But it doesn't mean we have to hate each other. And nobody asked you how you voted, and I didn't. I don't want to know how you voted or are thinking of voting. And if you want to know how I'm going to vote, I'm probably not going to tell you. You might have tried to figure it out, and you might have guessed it even. But it's really none of your business. And I think the less we know about how each of our neighbors is voting, the better we'll all be. Then maybe we can get down to the business of helping each other as Americans, treating each other as if we were each friends and neighbors in good faith whenever possible. Because just because we have a disagreement, we still have this in common. We know we're all equal under the eyes of the law. And even Supreme Court decisions can be changed according to the Constitution. We must not lose faith in our democracy. Remember, the day we stop believing in our democracy is the day we lose it. And friends, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, your focus determines your reality. And may the Force be with us. Perfect. And how is that coming across over there? Great. And this side as well. Okay, I'm ready to start. May God bless America. And may God protect our troops. And may we walk in the right as the good Lord gives us the ability to see that right. Good night. Taking a look at the book of Acts. of like some things that some people do. Yeah, nobody wants to smell it.